Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the Englewood Cliffs Mayor and Council Sine Die Meeting. I call it to order, and I call us out of recess from the special meeting on December 31st. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Kranjak,
Here.
Councilperson Zaversa,
Here.
Park, E. Park, O, here, O'Shea, here, and Park,
Here.
Whoa.
Here.
Everyone's present, Mayor, except Councilwoman Park.
Okay, thank you. Would everyone please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please read into the record the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Adequate notice of this meeting was given to the press and posted as required. Date and time of this meeting was legally given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. This notice is on file with the municipal clerk and posted on the bulletin board. Minutes of this meeting will be made available to the public upon the completion of typing and proofreading by the municipal clerk. And Mayor, Councilwoman Park just stepped in.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. Happy New Year again, everybody. We're not going to conduct any official business at this meeting. We're just going to spend a moment thanking our outgoing council members. I will briefly thank them now and in more detail at the reorg meeting. So thank you very much, Mark Park. You've done great work. I hope you'll stay for the reorg, at least the beginning, so you can hear my more detailed comments. Mary O'Shea stepped in October and did a fabulous job, and she's going to join me back on the planning board. Mary has incredible institutional and historical knowledge of this town. Mark's done just yeoman's work in terms of representing everyone in Englewood Cliffs. There's seats up front if anybody wants to come in. And I also want to thank, and I'll thank her in more detail as well, Carol McMorrow, who really was instrumental in getting this town moving in the right direction. I am going to turn over the microphone to Mark Park, Councilman Park.
Okay.
Thank you again. It's been a sincere pleasure serving with you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It has been a great honor to serve Englewood Cliffs as a council member for the last 3 years. I want to thank our residents for giving me this privilege. I believe in public service and have always placed the interest of our residents first. Serving on the council has given me the opportunity to meet people throughout the Englewood Cliffs. Getting to know so many of our residents have been wonderful. The community events that we introduced over the last 3 years, Community Night Out, the 5K race, and the Winter Wonderland, give all of us an opportunity to meet our residents. I'm pleased to have participated in decisions like the change to the public library, to the folly, approval of LG project, etc. I encourage all of our residents to be involved in our community. I was pleased to see so many of our residents come to council meeting when issues they care about were being discussed. I encourage our residents to continue to come to the meetings. It is very important that our elected officials hear from all of our residents. I hope to get another opportunity to serve our town in the future. Congratulations to our new elected council members, and thank you, Mayor, and thank you all of our council members. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilman Park. Councilwoman O'Shea, do you have a few words for us?
Yes, I do.
Words of wisdom?
Well, I don't know how much there will be considered words of wisdom, but there's a few things I would like to say. I dashed this off this morning, and we'll see how it goes. It's been an interesting 2.5 months serving on this council. I have seen firsthand how the Democratic councilpersons can put politics ahead of doing the right thing. They can try to adopt incorrect minutes to fulfill their desire to ignore the wrongdoings of borough employees and the ex-police chief Chiaffi. They are now in a position to reward the PBA for endorsing all their campaigns with a fat, juicy contract. God knows how they will pick a new chief. What favors have been received? How will they be rewarded? I have been criticized by Tony Morfesis for not acting against Doris and Joe Chiaffi's property deficiencies, while choosing not to mention that Aversa and O have sat on the council for over 7 years and did nothing. I was only here for 2 months. I have been criticized by David DeGorio and by Luciano for God knows what. I have always acted with my conscience in place with the truth. I have listened to the Chiaffi tapes. I have heard Lizette Duffy, our clerk, talking to Chief Chiaffi. I heard them talking about Aversa and O. I have heard Chief Chiaffi using sexual terms with Captain Regan, Captain Murphy, and Lieutenant Hinkleman. I have heard Janice Romano, Fran Marinuzzi, and Paul Duffy's comments in the room with them while this was going on. I heard Chiaffi and Murphy discussing internal affairs in which Tracy was involved against the Deputy Chief McMorrow. I will be glad when all members of our town will be able to hear these things. Chiaffi has fought for 3 years to keep the tapes unheard, yet 3 of these police officers want to be our next police chief. Is that taking us down the same road we traveled with Chiaffi? This new council will be negotiating the next police contract. They will reward their supporters, will they reward their supporters at the expense of the residents? Will they give immunity from lawsuits to the new chief like Aversa and O gave to Chiaffi? A getaway free card only encourages wrongdoing. David DeGorio will have to relearn his facts about how we got to where we are. It started when Patrimonis was on the council and pushed out the previous Chief Whiting and Captain Barrett to make room for her brother to move up. That is where it started, nepotism at its worst. If the new council removes the charges against Chiaffi, the taxpayers will be liable for all his legal expenses as per the contract negotiated by Aversa and O. I hope that the 2 new council people, I wish you luck. I hope you have the forbearance to stand up for what is right and not do the thing that the Democrats want you to do, okay, even though they supported you, okay? 2 months was long enough for me to be on here to see what happens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilwoman O'Shea, and thank you for your service. We are going to open to the public now, but we are also going to open to the public at the reorg meeting, which follows immediately after this meeting. So, you could speak now, or you could speak later, or you could speak at both meetings. Can I have a motion to open to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If there's anyone from the public who wishes to be heard, please raise your hand. Have me recognize you. We'll hand you a microphone because it's on here. Yes. You can stand out there. Record long enough.
Good morning. I'd like to wish you all the very best. And, Mary, I'd like to thank you for addressing me this morning about the questions about the tree that I told you didn't say cut down. But anyway, I have a question, Mary. When you signed off on the bills as a second signature,
Pardon me?
did you sign off as a council member?
Once.
Once. Did you review the bills?
Yes.
You were here for all of those bills?
I wasn't here for all those bills, no.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Anybody else wishing to be heard? Yes.
First of all, happy and healthy New Year to all of you, both up at the dais and in the audience. Mayor, I just want to take the opportunity, given that we have the Clerk Hogan and Assemblywoman Johnson and Huddle, very hard to get in touch with them, even though there were repeated efforts with no response from them. So I'm going to take this opportunity now, in case they don't stay, for the public portion at the rear. I just wanted to say, obviously I don't have the opportunity to say what I'd like to say up on the dais, but I'm just going to read a paragraph here. Serving the people of Englewood Cliffs as a borough councilwoman, and most recently as council president, was the honor of a lifetime. I did not think I was going to be doing this now. At the time, it has been difficult. At the same time, it's been difficult on both me and my family, and I've always taken pride in the hard work I have done for the mayor and council and for our residents. Doing what is right isn't always easy, or even popular. But I put my head on my pillow every night, knowing I've always put the people of Englewood Cliffs first. I remember receiving a phone call from Assemblywoman Huddle. There you are. Hi, Howard. When I lost my election, it was a vicious election of 2012, and the Democrats.
Welcome to Englewood Cliffs.
Right, and the Democrats went to levels that I thought at that time I'd never seen anything worse, including vendors and I remember Valerie reaching out to me about letters that Carter Carson wrote to the town, that the tax appeal attorney, vendors actually got involved in the election in Englewood Cliffs and wrote to these are paid professionals that wrote to our residents getting involved about who they believed should have been elected. I'm not seen before. I appreciated Valerie's phone call and saying that she felt sorry and she empathized with me for what I had gone through. And I remember saying to Assemblywoman Huddle, while I appreciated that phone call, that, people like herself are in a position to come forward and speak publicly when they don't agree on how fellow elected officials are being treated, especially fellow female elected officials, when you believe that things are being done improperly. She didn't do that. We all know why I stepped down and handed my resignation in on October 1st. We all know that I was the one that brought to light and played the first tape publicly. I believe in transparency. That's true transparency. And I believe that this town has a right to know everything that is on those tapes. I reached out to Assemblyman Gordon Johnson. You're a retired police officer. I heard no response from you, sir. I reached out to Assemblywoman Huddle, again, a fellow female elected official, to get their opinions on the sexual harassing comments to a female elected official employee, and the threats against my life by the Democratic police chief. No response from Assemblywoman Valerie Huddle either. I reached out to Senator Weinberg repeatedly. No response from Senator Weinberg. Yet these individuals were very quick to condemn Sheriff Sordino, whose comments were also egregious. But compared to what Chief Chaffee said, it's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood when you listen to what Chief Chaffee says on these tapes. And I just cannot understand, as elected officials, how you cannot, A, respond to fellow constituents, we're within your district, and B, stand up for what's right. It's outrageous, and The three of you should be ashamed of yourselves for playing politics before standing up for what's right. You are going to see on page 61, and I am so grateful to Judge Farrington for doing the right thing and releasing those tapes. We have been, for months and months and months, begging for those tapes to be released. And you will hear Chief Chaffee make reference to Senator Weinberg involving and assisting, according to Chief Chaffee, in what was done. And in what was done to Deputy Chief Michael McMorrow. I look forward to hear what Senator Weinberg has to say as to whether or not Chief Chaffee is telling the truth or if he is lying, which would just get added on to his list of charges, I would assume, if she says he is lying. So, Mary, you were very well spoken in what you said. And I wish them the best of luck, the two new council members, and I hope that they will not be beholden to their Democratic County Committee Chair, Patrick Mullins, who is the sister of Chief Chaffee, and do the right thing, because I see, as Council-elect Sabari's family is here. It's wonderful to have your family here and see you treated respectfully. But Sabari's daughter is the same age as my son. They cannot come here to watch because of how disgustingly I have been treated and am continually treated by members of this town. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else from the public that wishes to be heard? Yes.
Good job.
Welcome, Assemblyman Gordon Johnson. It's nice to see you here. I need to see more of you here. You only come for reorgs and Sine Dies. I want to see you here more often, and you could tell us all the great things you do for Englewood Cliffs.
I think we just heard that. Anyway,
Oh, that
today, I think we just heard about part of what I've done for Englewood Cliffs just before. But anyway,
You raised my taxes.
anyway, I'm here to acknowledge, or we are here to acknowledge the outgoing council people,
Thank you.
to recognize them for what they've done for the community, and we have some resolutions with it.
Okay.
So,
Jamie, do we have the column? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's on.
It's not working? We're here to recognize the outgoing council. We recognize them for their dedication to the community, and just like to present this resolution from the three of us.
I don't know if I was, if I come up from acknowledge.
Yeah, come on up. Yeah. Come on up. I want to ask you both.
I want it to be...
No, you can come inside here. Jamie, you know what? Come inside, guys. It's crowded out there. And at the end, I really do want to ask you a couple questions since you're here.
Oh, Q&A. Good.
I hope there's an A.
We are here to recognize the outgoing council members, so for the dedication. So that's why we're here right now, for this part of the council meeting. So, from Valerie Vincentello, myself, and Senator Weinberg, we have these resolutions to the negative.
You only have two, you should have three. You don't have one for Mrs. McMorrow?
I was going to give my comments to Carol,
Okay?
but right now we have these. If you'd like to accept them?
Yes, I'll accept
them.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Councilman Park, congratulations on your service
Okay, thank
to
you
this
so much.
great town of Englewood Cliffs. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And 2 months must feel like 2 years, but...
Feels like 20.
Yes. And I just want to wish the mayor and the council a happy and healthy new year. And Carol, I want to thank you also for your pet service in Englewood Cliffs. It's not easy
Gordon, stay.
to run for public office. Politics can be brutal, but once we are sworn in, we are here to govern. And I hope that that's what we can do is move forward at Englewood Cliffs. So I congratulate all of you for good government
And Mayor, thank you for the time.
So, thank you. So, for everybody who doesn't know, Assemblywoman Huddle, Assemblyman Gordon Johnson are our representatives in the State Assembly. We've had issues in town, and you're aware of some of them. I'm sure you're aware of the surreptitious tapes made by Chief Chaffee full of racist and sexually harassing and violent comments. I had reached out to both of you and asked you to condemn them, and you didn't. You could do that now? Do you want to condemn?
I'm not heard the tapes.
Okay, right. But you read about it.
One clarification, I don't think
Okay.
ever reached out to me.
Well, I have.
I don't believe so.
And
Okay.
so you won't do that now, that's fine, that's your prerogative. The other thing is that you guys are always voting for tax increases, but we are also your constituents here in Englewood Cliffs. So I need you to, I looked at your voting records this morning, there's no tax that you haven't liked. So that's something I want you to focus on and make our community better. I know there's a vote coming up for the legalization of recreational marijuana. I hope you vote no. It seems like you're going to vote yes. But you should look at Colorado very carefully.
I wouldn't assume, Mayor, but anyway.
Look at Colorado. Every dollar of tax
For the
revenue...
record, my vote is no, and
Okay,
my
good.
piece is done to congratulate everyone, and I appreciate it.
So every dollar of tax revenue... All right. So Gordon, Valerie abandoned you, Gordon, but this is going to be, it gets easier, it gets easier. So, just so you know, every dollar of tax revenue in Colorado has cost that state $4.60. Now, I support medical marijuana because that helps people who are sick. I don't support recreational marijuana, and I hope you won't either. Finally, the legislature failed to act over 50 years, and we have become mired down in the affordable housing litigations. At the same time, I understand that there's a pending bill to preserve our cliffs. So you're limiting our height restrictions to 35 feet as a state coming in here. What I'm going to ask you to do is go back to the Assembly with Valerie Huddle, who abandoned you, and Loretta Weinberg, who I think is the Senate Majority Leader, and get a legislative exemption for this town, because it doesn't work here. We're trying to comply, but it's just becoming impossible. And you guys, you let the judges take over the legislative branch of this state, and that's a violation of the guarantee clause of the U.S. Constitution, which guarantees me and everyone in this room a Republican form of government, meaning that our elected officials make decisions and not the appointed judges. So that's your homework. I really appreciate you coming back. I know you're a good guy, and I enjoy seeing you.
Sounds like you appreciate me coming back. But in regards to your concerns about the height restriction, that bill is still in the works. It's not finalized yet. There's some changes being made to that bill because the townships more power.
And we're fine with the height restriction, but we want some relief on the other side, and you could do that legislatively, but you haven't.
On the other side.
On the other side, the affordable housing side. We'll build our allotted share, that's fine, we'll take care of it, but you have to give us relief from the future building, okay? I'm going to have everyone in town write to you.
Mr. Mayor, we'll talk.
Okay, let's talk, seriously.
Offline.
We could do that.
Okay?
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I can go back and sit down now?
You can sit wherever you want. You can take over the meeting if you want. And I appreciate you hanging in there while Valerie abandoned you. Okay. Anybody else from the public? Okay, let's have a motion to close the public portion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to save my mayor's end of your comments for the end, for the reorg meeting. I will say, however, that this is the first time we've had a baby in session, and it's the cutest baby I've seen in a long time, so thank you for bringing your child here. We've had several dogs and other things, but thank you.
I've never heard a baby compared to a dog.
No, we enjoyed the baby's presence, and I wasn't comparing the baby to a dog. I wasn't comparing the baby to a dog, okay? I was actually trying to be nice, and thank you for bringing your child. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?